Hello, good morning, everyone.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning,
Yeah,
Okay.
sir.
sir.
Yeah, good morning. The class will be starting soon. Let's wait here. 5 more minutes for those that are preparing to join. All right. Good morning. Can you all hear me? So the class will begin now.
Yes, sir, we can hear you at least from my own end, sir.
Okay. So I'll be sharing my screen. Please confirm if you can see my screen. Hello.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yes, you can see
All
your
right.
screen.
So my name is Apagu Johanna. I'm a social media manager. So today we are going to be talking about social media management, and in comparison against being a social media moderator. We're going to be talking about social media management, and comparing being a social media manager with being a social media moderator. Because most at times people seem to interswitch the both of them. You will see a social media manager doing the work of a community moderator, and you see a community moderator busy doing the work of a social media manager. So today we are going to briefly break down all of them, explain them, and very briefly. So let's go to the introduction. Who is the social media? What is social media? Social media simply refers to applications and online platform through which you can share, communicate, interact with other people. Social media is just simple platform that you use to communicate with other people. Of course, all of us know what social media is. Um, every day, our day-to-day life, we interact with other people, we communicate with other people, we share information with other people through the use of social media. Social media platforms, of course, they are WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, Telegram. All of these combined are social media platform. Social media platform Most of them they support, all of them they support text, images, audio, live streaming, and short media. So there are different categories of social media platform. There are some that's for specific reasons. There are some that are created for specific reasons. Example of a specific reason social media platform, we have like Discord. Discord is specific for community building, and most gaming platform they use Discord to build their community. We have Telegram. Telegram is specifically for community building. Then going ahead, we have blogging social media platform like Twitter. Twitter is not majorly for chatting. Twitter is majorly for tweeting and blogging. Twitter is majorly for tweeting and blogging. We have Threads. Thread is for tweeting and blogging. Then when we go to TikTok, TikTok is majorly for live streaming and short form videos. Majorly for live streaming and short form videos. So we're moving on to the next part of the class. If you have any questions, please you can ask before we move on. If there is no question, you can just set an emoji to signal. So we move on very quickly. Right. So now we'll be going on to the social media management. What is social media management? So social media management refers to the process of planning, creating, publishing, and analyzing and managing content, engagement, and brand audience across all social media platforms. The process of planning, creating, process, publishing, analyzing, and managing content, engagement, and brand process across digital platforms. And this, the person who does all this responsibility is a social media manager. The person who does all the responsibility is a social media manager. So a social media manager basically builds an online presence for the brand. So when there is when a new project launches, of course they need the presence to be able to get crowdfunding, to be able to get funds, to be able to launch, um, to be able to be able to introduce themselves to a new audience, to be able to capture their target audience. They need to create a very specific and targeted online presence. So the person who handles their online presence is a social media manager. So we're moving on to the responsibilities of the social media manager. The first responsibility of the social media manager is strategy planning. Content strategy planning. Now, the social now let me give you a very brief example. Um, on Twitter. Let me go to Twitter. You don't just wake up one morning because you are a social media manager of a particular platform and post what you want. No, you have to plan the exact time you are going to post it, and of course, yeah, it has to correlate with the plans that the project is having on the background. It has to coordinate with the plan that the project is having on the background. Sometimes most projects they give a sneak peek of their upcoming events, of their upcoming launch, or something that they are planning to do in the future. And the person who is in charge of posting these things for the community is the social media manager. Of course, you don't expect the project CEO to come and just post, no. So they silo this responsibility on the social media manager. The social media manager has to know when to post it, exactly the time to post it. And another responsibility is content creation. So aside being a social media manager, you have to know how to create content. Creating content is very important and a core part of being a social media manager, because nobody is going to come and tell you, go and write this, this what you write, this what you write. No, they will just tell you, basically on a voice chat, they'll just say we need a post like this and this and this and this and this. And of course, you have to know how to present it. You have to know what to write. So this is the responsibility. This content creation is a core of being a social media manager. We have another responsibility is the posting and scheduling, which is almost the same with content strategy planning. Then replying to comment and messages. When you go on Twitter, um, you tag brands. Let me say you're having issue with your OP, and you tag OP on Twitter. You tell them that this is the issue you're having, and you start dragging them. Of course, you observe that within a few minutes or some hours, um, somebody is going to reply you. The OP official handle is going to reply you, and when they reply you, you will notice they always put a tag. They will reply you, and at the end they will write BK. So the people who reply these comments are the social media managers. Of course, many projects they have like 5 to 10. You have 1, 2, or huge project they have 5 to 10. So each social media manager has his own tag. So when he replies to a comment, he puts his tag there. So replying to comments, replying to DMs, these are all handled by social media manager. And sometimes most of these big brands, we go on Telegram or Twitter, we go and DM them, thinking we want to communicate with the project core team, want to communicate with the project HR. Of course, we cannot communicate with the project HR via their Twitter handle. It's not possible. Even though the HR may have access, but the responsibility of replying the messages is the responsibility of the social media manager. Um, Another responsibility is platform analytic reporting and insight. Of course, when you make a post, the the post outreach, who it reaches, how many people view the post. All these are information that you need to gather. You need to gather and report it back to your superiors. You need to gather the 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 the, the views, the engagement, how many people react to it. Then we have the trend monitoring. Trend monitoring, of course, what's happening now in the crypto space is the market going is the market are we having a bull market or we're having a bear market? These are things that are going to influence what you post. There's campaign planning. As I've spoken on it earlier. Campaign planning, when the project has something big coming up. Yes, it's your responsibility as social media manager to keep reminding the community slowly of these things. You post today, after 3 days, you post again. Of course, reminding them of this thing. That's why you need a content creation skill. Every time you post a different way to capture your audience. The influencer coordination. Now, for this influencer coordination, some project contact influencers. They tell the influencers, we need you to help us and post this. Please help us and post this. We are going to pay you this amount. These influencers have 30,000 followers. Help us and post this. Now, these influencers, they don't just post it at the time they like. They don't post it at the time they like. So as a social media manager, it is your job to coordinate the influencers so that they will post it at exactly the same time or at just short time interval. If you are planning to promote your coin, you have IDO coming up and you want to promote it, you meet these influencers, let them post it at particular same time. So it's your job to coordinate them to be able to post it at a specific time. Then we have the community interaction, and then lastly, we have the crisis and reputation handling. The crisis and reputation handling. Now, this is a very important part of being a social media manager. Sometimes some things happen that are out of our control. Um, the project gets into an issue. Let me say the project market is not going well. They launch a coin and everything is just going red. So it's your job as social media manager to be able to go out there and give some level of comfort to the community. Because when you launch a coin and it's not going well, of course people are going to come and call you scam. They are going to say so. The handling of this crisis is the job of a social media manager. So we are going to move on to the next slide. Please, if you have any questions, you can indicate. If you don't have any questions, you can just send an emoji. So we'll move on. Okay, so now we'll move on to some of the basic. These are basic core skills. I call them basic core skills because they are something that we can easily acquire. We can get this from online courses. Um, we can get this from YouTube. So there are basic courses required for being a social media manager. The first one is creativity, which is also synonymous to content creation. You have to be very creative, know how to capture audience. You don't have to be repeating the same method of post every time. So communication skills, you have to know how to communicate with your audience through your engagement and your feedback. Of course, you have to be able to identify where you need to improve. Writing skills, graphic design skills, basic graphic design skills. So most projects they usually have a different graphic designer who designs for them their project, their banners and all that for any campaign they have. Or as social media manager, of course, you should have some basic graphic design skills. This will help you to be able to assess the designs submitted by the graphic designer, be able to know if there are any error and corrections that need to be made. Another core skill is social media strategy development. Um, if you go on Udemy, there are specific courses that are targeted for social media. There are specific courses that are targeted for social media. So if you complete these courses, you are going to understand how you can use these strategies to build online presence for any brand you are working with. Analytics skills, of course, to be able to um, provide reports, performance index, insights of how far the project is, how far your engagement is going, how far your post is going, who are you assessing? Are you reaching your target audience? Are people interested in your post? How many people visit your website? So all these are things that you need you need to know how to analyze as a social media manager. Then we have time management, problem solving. We have customer interaction skills. Customer interaction skills, as I explained earlier, when you comment about an issue with your OP, they come and they reply you under the comments. So this is something that as a social media manager, you have to know how to interact with your customers that are commenting or rendering complaints under a post made by your team. Then basic marketing knowledge. So we are going to be moving on to the next slide. Please indicate if you have any question. For you can send an emoji to move on to the next slide. Okay, so now we are just going to very briefly, go through some tools that are used by social media managers. The first one is content design tools. Of course, in our previous slide, you see that the core of being a social manager is content creation, graphic designs, as I explained just in the previous slide. So for content design, there are a lot of tools. When I mean a lot of tools, there are many tools that you can use. There are video editing tools. We have the Adobe Editor. We have the Adobe Premiere Pro. We have Canva, Photoshop, CapCut. So these Canva, Photoshop, and CapCut are basic tools they are very easy to use. Someone that just starts today can use any of the tools. So for scheduling, we have Calendly, Hootsuite, and Meta Business Suite. So these are these are tools that are used to plan. They are used to plan ahead. Now, I personally use Calendly a lot. So most of the time, project they contact you. They want you to have a meeting with their team. So such meeting, you book it on your Calendly. They will send you their Calendly link. When you go to their Calendly, you will see it's just like a normal calendar. You will see all the dates, and you will see the meetings that they have ahead. So if they have meeting tomorrow, you are going to see it on their Calendly that this particular person has a meeting tomorrow. So they are going to send you Calendly link that you fix a meeting with them. So when you open the link, you will check a day that is free and convenient for both you and them. A day that they don't have meeting, then you fix it. So it's a basic scheduling tool. You can use it to plan ahead. If you need to make a social media post, you can use it to plan and it's going to send you a reminder. So analytic tool, as I explained earlier, you need to measure your engagement. You need to measure who you are reaching. Are you get your target audience? Every day you are posting every day. Are, are your are your are your product users increasing? So these are things that you need to learn how to do. You can use the Google Analytics tool and Platform Insights dashboard. If you use Twitter a lot, you will know that when you post, you get your platform insight automatically. Even Facebook, when you post, you'll be able to see how many engagement you have, and among all those other things. So for communication tools, we have Telegram, Discord, and X. So we'll be moving on to the next slide. If you have any question, please indicate. Okay. So we're going briefly through key social media management processes. First of all, we have the market research. You are hired as a social media manager. What is the first thing you should do? What is the first thing you should do? Of course, the first thing you should do is to um, you are study the market which you are hired for. Study the market which you are hired for. Let me give a very simple example. I used to work with Ape Terminal. So basically, we launch projects, IDOs. So projects come, they want to have an IDO on our platform. We do and perform the IDO for them. So of course, I'm being hired a social media manager for such platform. I cannot go to a gaming platform and then go there to start trying to get audience there. Of course, it's not going to work. Most people that are into gaming, what they focus on is play to earn games. When a new game come out, they end. And my ideal platform is just coming up, and I'm going there to advertise it. Of course, it doesn't make sense. So you have to conduct a deep market research, know your target audience, as you can see on our point. So target audience analysis, you have to know your target audience, know where you need to go to, where you need to publish to, who and who you are tagging when making a publication. So this will help you a lot, especially when you are just beginning. When you receive your first gig as social media manager, market research is very, very, very important. You have to fully understand the project. You have to fully understand its competitors. You have to go to the competitors page to go and look, okay, what are these guys doing? How are they posting? Okay. You have to do all these things. The third point is content calendar development. Then we have the publishing plan, moderation plan, reporting and evaluation. So So the publishing plan, of course, that's as we have previously discussed, is similar to the scheduling plan. The moderation plan, publishing plan, after you post, you 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 wait. The moderation plan, you moderate the post, the comments, the reactions, and then the comments that you need to reply to, you reply to them. Those that you don't need to reply to, you leave them. Then reporting and evaluation. As I previously said, when you make a post, you have to pick up all the engagement, the impression, the views, everything. You have to get it and report it to your superiors, because it is part of your job description. It is always part of your job description. When you're applying for a job as a social media manager, it is always part of your job description that you have to give the performance index composure. So KPIs to measure, and you have to measure impression, reach, engagement rate, growth rate, and click-through rates. Now, let me give you a very brief example. Uh, okay, your project wrote an article on Medium. So as a social media manager, you go on Twitter and you post the link to the project, to the article on Medium that was written. You post the link and you tell your users to click the link. Of course, when they click the link, it's going to reflect on your Medium, on the Medium, that this particular person clicked this link and this particular person came from X. Peradventure you made the post on X, it's going to indicate on the Medium that this particular person click this link. So you're going, if you go to Medium, you're going to see that 100 people from X click this link and they are here now. They came to here and they read. You will even see as far as this particular person stayed for 3 minutes. This particular person read for 2 minutes. So you're going to see all that. So these are things that you use to measure if you are getting to your target audience or not. So we'll be moving on to content, to community management. We'll briefly talk about community management and compare it with being a social media manager. So if you have any question on social media management, you can please ask now, or you can send an emoji. So we'll move on to the next class. Yes, if you have a question, please you can unmute yourself and ask.
Good morning, sir. My question is what, sir? If as a social media manager, if you post a content and maybe someone had an issue, for example, maybe you post a content on people that are delivering goods and services, and then maybe someone had an issue, maybe his good did not arrive or something, and comes under your content to actually make a comment about that, who is to reply to his issue? Is it the project manager? Is it the social media manager or the team behind?
All right. Thank you. I get your question. Okay. Um, I will try to rephrase your question so you just indicate if I'm rephrasing it correctly. You said you made a post about a brand that does delivery, and that does delivery or sell goods, and then a customer through you, buys the goods from the person, and then the person did not receive the goods, and the customer now came under your post to complain about the issue. So who should reply the customer? Please indicate if I'm rephrasing your question correctly.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically it is not the responsibility of the brand that you posted to come and reply comment under your post. As far as you are the one that posted, is you are going to handle the issue. There have been many issues like this. There have been a lot of issues like this where you do an advert for a brand, and then your fans, your loyal fans will go to the brand and order something, and the brand will not deliver. Then they will come to you and complain. It is your responsibility. You have to take the blame. That's why most times it is That's why most Nigerian influencers on X have lost their credibility because they go around. You see a Twitter influencer will make a post um, about a rug pull coin, and these influencers they know that it's a rug pull coin. They know, but they will still make the post because they are getting hundreds of thousands of dollars from it. So they will post the coin. Their fans will join in and buy the coin. And after the fans join in and buy, it end up being a rock pool. And then the fans will come and be complaining, and they will not even answer. They will not even answer because one, they know that what they are doing is not good. They do not make proper research for posting it, and that's why if a Nigerian Twitter influencer post any coin on Twitter, I don't even look at it 2 times because they have lost their credibility. So as a social media manager, you have to be very, very careful of brands you post because these brands are direct replica of you. If you post a brand that is that you did not do research on, that is a scam and it end up affecting your community will not want to listen if it is you or it's not you. As far as they are concerned, they got this link through you. So you are going to be saddled with the responsibility of responding to them and dealing with the issue. And as a brand manager, as a social media manager, of course, you should be able to contact the brand directly and tell the brand that this is what your fans are having, this is the issue they have. So at least they'll be able to resolve the issue. And please indicate if I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Is there any other question, please? Or if there is no question, please indicate so we'll move on to the next slide. So now we'll talk about community management very briefly. So most of the times there is a huge conception and misunderstanding between being a community manager and being a social media manager. So community management is the process of building, nurturing, sustaining an online audience around a brand project or cause while ensuring healthy engagement and retention. Of course, um, community management is almost similar to social media management. Community management deal basically with internally, is not as broad as social media manager. Community management is within a group, just an enclosed group. So the person who handles the building and nurturing of an online audience across a brand is the community manager. So core duties of the community manager, let's briefly go through them. We have the first one, which is onboarding of new members. Onboarding of new members, as I said, community manager is within an enclosed group. It's not a social media manager. No, social media manager, of course, is majorly on blogging posts, um, blogging social media platform. As we spoke earlier, we have the X and thread. So basically, most social media managers are around there. So the welcoming of new members into a community is done by the social media manager. Guiding users on how to use the product is done by a community manager. So when you are when you are a community manager for a gaming platform, new users come in, they have issues with the game or they get stuck. So it is your job to guide them on how to pass a particular stage. Handling questions and confusion. Of course, as a community manager, you are going to face a lot of questions from users. So it's your job to answer the questions. Moderation and enforcement of rules, conflict resolution, event organizing, that's event like AMAS. So a social media manager closely works with the community manager when it comes to event organizing. Um, the community manager organizes the event, set the date and time for the event, but the publication of the event, the creation of awareness for the event is done by the social media manager. Content creation inside the community. Content creation inside the community is done by the social media manager, while the is done by the community manager, sorry, while the social media manager does content outside on a broader place where it reaches more audience. Feedback collection, reporting of issues to the management. When there are internal issues with the game, if the comment is made on an X post or a Twitter post made by the project, um, made by the project social media manager, the social media manager collect it and send it to the team. But most at times, there are hardly complaints on an X post. If you have a Telegram community, the most users they go to the Telegram community and complain about issue they are facing there. So as a community moderator, you handle more complaints, and so most of the times you do a comprehensive table and submit complaints to the management. I work for a project. I think the complaints we submit daily is up to 20, and it is a rule that you must submit it at the end of your working hours. So as report is coming in, any issue you cannot handle, you go and write it and wait. When you want to close for the day, you send it to them and you go offline. Maintaining peace and coherence. So these are the few. These are those few of the qualities of social media management. Of course, there are a lot more of them. Um, so we'll be moving to the next slide now. Okay, so this we are going to do a quick comparison between being a social media manager and community manager. So a social media manager, they focus on external brand image. As I said earlier, the social media managers they are on a they focus on a broader they focus they hit more target audience. They hit more target audience. It is better for a community manager to even do mistake than a social media manager because every post we made recently we can see that this co-founder of Paystack he was involved in a scandal of posts that he made more than 10 years ago, 10 years ago that he made that post. But these posts are coming back to him now. Because when he was making that post, he did not know that he's going to have the issue now. You know, so maybe now probably he does. He's not the one that handled his ex anymore again and all those kind of things. But those previous posts that was made is coming back to him and it's affecting his brand image externally. It's not something that is hidden. It's external. It's now an external issue. All of us now we know what's going on because of it was made on a huge platform, and this kind of huge platform are handled by social media manager. So, like the question raised earlier, you focus on your external brand image. If you sell a goods to somebody, if you post somebody a brand and the brand does not deliver, and then someone comes under your comment and complain, if another person comes to order the good and he sees that complaints, of course he's not going to order again. It's affecting you and also affecting the brand, but of course affecting you more. It's affecting you more. While a community manager focus on internal community well-being. So as I explained, a community manager deals within a closed session, within a closed community. So it's something like community manager post is only visible to those within the community. It's only visible to those within the community. So as I just explained, it is easier to handle a crisis caused by a community manager than a crisis caused by a social media manager. So as social media managers, we have to be very careful of every single comment, tweet, or anything we make. The social media manager publishes and promotes content. As I explained earlier, a community manager creates the AMA, organize the AMA, but the publishing and the promotion of that AMA event is done by the social media manager. A community manager creates interactions within the community. A community manager usually have a more closer relationship to the users of his platform because he constantly communicates with them. If you go to some projects now, you see that if a member send a message, you see that most of the community members are already familiar with their member. They know the member very well because they have been there a long time and they have created such close relationship with the people. And of course, a community manager knows more about the project than the social media manager. This is normal. It is very normal because as I explained, the community manager deals with more issues daily than the social media manager. So a social media manager measures reach and impression. Of course, analytically, as I explained earlier, you measure your engagement, your outreach, your impressions, your click rates, among other things. While a community manager, it measures the participation and retention. Participation and retention. Retention in this context. It means the community members not leaving the community, them staying in the community. So you measure how community members engage in activities within the community and the rate at which community members join and stay in the community. So lastly, the social media manager has a more broader audience, while the community manager has a narrow but a committed audience. So I think with this we have come to the last to our okay. So in conclusion, the social media connects people globally through social media connects people globally through interactive digital platforms. Both the community manager and the social media manager all use social media. So the social media manager focus on content planning, branding, and external strategy, while the community managers focus on audience loyalty, engagement, and retention. Both are both roles are essential for strong modern digital presence. So I think with this we have come to the end of the class for today. Please, you can indicate if you have any questions. So we'll take the questions. If there's no question, please you can just send an emoji. So all right. So I don't know. Maybe in our next class I'll give you a few tips on how to job hunt for a social media manager roles, and also um maybe I'll share some of the lectures, some of the certificates on Udemy which you can acquire for your which you can acquire in order to boost your social media manager role application. And of course, it's not easy applying for job being in Nigeria. I'm going to tell you for a fact, it's not easy. Most jobs, of course, you need a guarantor, you need somebody to connect you with with someone that knows someone able to help you get a job. But of course, we are getting there. It's not easy. Maybe in the next class or two, I'm going to briefly talk on that aspect. So if there's any question, please you can indicate, and if there's no question, you can just send an emoji so I will know. All right, since it seems like there's no question, so I'm going to share a very simple assignment later. I'm going to liaise with the HR. We are going to share the assignment in a bit. So I hope I'm not I hope I did not bore you with my lectures. And
No,
hopefully next time we'll have more people in the class, and then we'll be able to cover a bit more aspects. We'll be able to go more internally. And of course, social media manager is not a skills that require very high technical know-how like the UI and UX designer skills. This social media manager, you need just your basic skills. You need just very, very basic skills to be able to um, acquire the role and handle execute it properly. So if there's anything else, anybody can speak now.
Good morning. Okay, in the absence of anything, I think we can wrap up. Well done, Mr. Johanna, and thank you.
All right, thank you all for attending to the class. Going to be having the next class in a few days. So I think we'll meet again by then. Thank you.
all right, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much, sir.